We're going to work on how to make a topographic profile today. In your lab materials you have several diagrams that resemble the ones in our view right now. The orange line represents a line on a topographic map, and the black dashes are places where that line touched a dark brown contour line. Some of the lines had numbers on them and some of them don't, and you have information on the map that helps you decide this usually. As you can tell, we've got a number marked at 6,800. There are several of those. We've also got the places where the orange line crosses water marked. Here is a small stream, and this is a river that we have located. So what we need to do on this part of the lab is assign values to the marks that don't have numbers on them. I have a few down for purposes of illustration. This is not identical to the one you will have to do, but I felt that it would be helpful. So you know from the lab that on the Soda Canyon map, the dark brown lines are 200 feet apart. And you also should realize that when you're approaching a stream, you're going down in elevation, and when you're leaving water, you're going up in elevation. So if we have 6,800, 6,800, 6,800, and then the next one we have marked is dropped at 6,400, the missing one has to be the midpoint between those two numbers, and so that would be 6,600. So I'm going to write 6,600 to indicate I know the elevation of that line. So we're 6,400, 6,200, 6,000. Notice that we've got a second 6,000. That's because the stream is in the middle and the elevation on either side of the stream or river is the same value. So if on the left bank it's 6,000, on the right bank it will be 6,000. As we move away from the water, we're going to increase in elevation. We know our dark lines change by jumps of 200. So if this is 6,000, the next one up is 6,200. After that we would go to 6,400. We've got one marked at 6,600, and then several 6,800s. This indicates a plateau, a flat place. And now you'll see we start to decrease in elevation again. 6,800, 66, 6,400. This one must be 6,200. This will have to be 6,000. We've hit the water, so the one on the other side is 6,000. And then the rest of the numbers have been finished out for us. So we've completed the line for the topographic profile. Now we need to draw the topographic profile. And to do that, we take this piece of paper and we want to fold it along the orange line. I want to see the line, but I don't want to see the information above it. So you see I've done a semi-decent job of folding it. Then we'll take our graph. You were supplied this in the lab, and we need to take these points and plot them on the graph paper. But I have a little bit of a problem. The line I have drawn is too long for the graph that you were provided. So I'm going to have to truncate it. I'm going to have to leave off the part that will not fit. So what I do is line it up. The very first number starts out on the left-hand side, and I need to plot a dot. I think I'm going to do this in green. Oh, sorry about that. In green, so that you can see it. So lining it up, 6,800, I come straight up and put a dot. And there's another 6,800, so I come up and put a dot. There's another 6,800, come straight up and put a dot. Now we're at 6,600. Come up to the 6,600 and put a dot. I'm up at 6,400. Plot a dot. 6,200. I can plot that point. 6,000. We've got another 6,000. We're jumping up to 6,200 beside it. 6,400. Oops, come across, find it, put the dot. 6,600 will be next to that. Again, it should line up. After the 6,600, we have a series of 6,800s. So coming up, put a dot, and there's another, and another, and now we're dropping down to 6,600, and the very last one that shows up is 6,400. Once we have our little dots in place, what I'm going to do is connect the dots to draw the topographic profile. To make it, I think, easy for you to see, I'll do it in orange. Obviously, you could do it in pencil. I do suggest pencil, not Sharpie, for this. But I'm going to connect the dots. And so I start at the edge, and I connect. I come down, and over, and across, and then down again. And so I've drawn a topographic profile for a map that, in my example, is to represent Soda Canyon. Your profile will not look exactly like this. Your lines are not this far apart. They're much closer together. But in order for you to view it, I wanted to show it this way. So you should be able to manage your profile.